Hi Earthlings, today I'm sharing with you all the story of Bai Su Jian, or White Snake. This is the lead-up story for the Year of the Snake, which will be starting the 29th of January in the year 2025. So, let us begin. It includes some of my research and also some added notes, okay? After Genesis chapter 3, Bai Su cultivated her immortal spirit. For over hundreds of years she had honed her magic, driven by the yearning to have a fully human body instead of being half woman, half snake. She practiced her virtue of decency, keeping her heart pure and unblemished so she could one day share her goodness and compassion with humanity. She meditated to understand the complexity of her emotions. She meditated for the salvation of her soul. She meditated for her redemption. She gathered different herbs and flowers and barks and roots to find the formula to make her whole. And one day, with all the right combinations, Bai Su shed her snake-skinned lower half and stepped out with human legs and feet. Her appearance was strikingly beautiful. Her walk was mesmerizing. Now, Bai Su still, had lived in Mount Iumai, a 10,167-foot-high mountain in the Sichuan province of China. Mount Iumai is the highest of the 4 sacred Buddhist mountains in China. As she descended Mount Iumai towards the town of Jiading, she created the 50-kilometer winding path, walking several days. The herbalist Xu Xian had been sent to forage in the narrow space of land between the Black Dragon River and the White Dragon River. And it was here that destiny and fate intertwined, and the young herbalist Xu Xian and Bai Su crossed paths. It was love at first sight for Xu Xian. He was enchanted by her knowledge of plant lore and her beauty. A silent and profound connection sparked between them. Before I saw you, thought Bai Su, I meditated for 1,000 years, but those 1,000 years are worth less than this one moment here with you. Naturally, they married, and their relationship blossomed deep and sincere. Xu Xian left his place of employment, and together with Bai Su Xian, they opened the medicine shop in the marketplace. Xu Xian handled the day-to-day affairs, and Bai Su Xian applied her profound knowledge of mystical herbs and healing modalities, making salves and balms and tinctures. A plague came to Jiading, and Xu Xian, resentful past employer, sold Xu Xian rotten herbs. Bai Su Xian used her cultivated magic to create a recipe from the rotten herbs to treat the plague-infected people, saving them all. Word of her miraculous cures spread quickly, and people began coming from distant lands seeking remedies. Their home became a sanctuary of happiness, warmth, and goodwill to all. And then along came Fa Hai, a practicing monk, warning Xu Xian that there was a demon in his house, and that the demon was Bai Su Xian. Xu Xian laughed. His kind-hearted, resourceful wife was not a demon, but Fa Hai insisted. and told Shuzien to serve his wife wine that he offered on the 5th day of the 5th month, when the demon's powers are weakest. And if she wasn't a demon, it wouldn't hurt her at all, said Fahai. Shuzien kept the wine, but watching his wife, he dismissed the idea. Yet, when the time approached, Shuzien was curious and offered his wife the wine at the boat festival. As soon as it touched by Shuzien's lips, her legs became the tail of a snake. Shuzien instantly collapsed dead from shock, with a terrified look on his face. Bai Shuzien tried with all her magic, but could not revive Shuzien. She had one last idea. The herb of longevity can bring the dead back to life, guarded by the old man of the far south in the hidden peaks of the Kuanlin Mountains. Whitesnake rode to the mountains on a cloud of compassion, then continued past the arches and the gateways until she reached the sign marked Beyond Mortality, hanging over a silver bridge. Whitesnake disguised her lower body in a monk's robe as she approached the two guardians of the plant, Crane and Deer, saying that she had come to invite the old man to a gathering of the gods. Crane left to relay the message, and Bai Shuzien plucked some leaves from the herb and darted away as fast as her snake-tail could push. Deer chased after her, so Bai Shuzien coughed up a magic ball and threw it at Deer. Crane flew in, and the fight between Snake and Crane began. Bai Shuzien had put the leaves under her tongue, and Crane's long beak clamped around her neck. The old man appeared. All three stood still. The old man asked Bai Shuzien, "Why do you risk your life stealing this herb when you are already immortal?" And Bai Shuzien explained her love for Shuzien. Even if he could not stand to be near her ever again, she was determined to bring him back to life. Touched by her willingness to risk her life for him, the old man permitted her to leave the mountain with the herb. Bai Shuzien flew home on her cloud of compassion and revived Shuzien from frozen terror. When he opened his eyes, he smiled. Spirit demon or not, he loved his wife with all his heart, and now he was more protective of her than ever. The medicine shop was back in business, and all was well in their world. Then Shuzien received an urgent invitation to attend the opening ceremony of a new temple in Jiading. Bai Shuzien asked him to stay home. She wanted to share something important with him. Shuzien thought it was about medicine, and he said, "Let me go and make my appearance. I will leave early, and we can talk when I get back." Bai Shuzien awaited his return to announce her pregnancy. But the invitation had come from Fahai, and when Shuzien entered the temple, he was trapped inside. Fahai wanted to cleanse Shuzien's soul. Bai Shuzien began to feel uneasy. Shuzien had been gone too long. Something must be wrong. She made her way to the temple at the water's edge. Upon entering, Fahai threw his prayer mat, which erupted into fire and smoke, burning the temple. Bai Shuzien summoned waves to subdue the flames, but in her fright the wave was big and also flooded the surrounding area, and innocent villagers were drowned. She felt despair. She had caused death, and in that weak moment, Fahai attempted to trap her in his magic alms bowl, but a bright glow emanated from Bai Shuzien's belly, frightening Fahai. I started writing food. Shuzien grabbed her hand and they ran all the way home. Secretly, Bai Shuzien was uneasy about her accidental act of destruction. and she feared misfortune. Shao told her not to worry, but he too felt their blessing would be retracted. Neither of them spoke of it to each other, and Bai Suzian gave birth to their son, Zushi Lin. Bai Zian nicknamed her newborn son Ming Jiao. 1 month later, Fa Hai appeared at their doorstep, offering an alms bowl to ensure the good fortune of their son, he said. Xiao Zian was wary of such a gift from Fa Hai, hesitating as to what he should do. As soon as he saw Bai Zuzian walking towards the door, he quickly accepted it and shut the door. The bowl flew out of Shu Zian's hands and over Bai Zuzian's head, hitting her and trapping her underneath it. Fa Hai knocked once more, and when Shu Zian opened the door, he grabbed that bowl and buried it under the Lai Feng pergola. Shu Zian begged him to release his wife. Their child needed her. He needed her. Fa Hai said, "She will be free when this tree of iron has flowers." Devastated, Shu Zian gave his son, Shilin, to his sister-in-law, Lady Lian, to raise. Lady Lian had a child the very same day, a girl who was named Bai Lian. Shu Zian put himself into a monastery to pray for Bai Suzian night and day. No one knew that Shilin was the reincarnation of the god of wisdom, Wen Chuxing, and as he grew, so did his wisdom. At 19, Shilin went to the capital city to take the nationwide imperial exam and obtained the highest score in the whole empire. The emperor himself bestowed Shilin with an ornate hat decorated with jewel-encrusted flowers as the reward. Shilin went to the monastery where his father remained in prayer and spoke of freeing his mother. Together they went to Lai Feng pergola, and seeing his father bent forward in prayer on the ground, Li Xian took off his jewel-encrusted hat and hung it on the iron tree to bend forward in prayer akin to his father. Suddenly, the ground opened and Bai Suzian stepped out. The spell of the flowers on the iron tree was completed. Her curse was over. Fa Hai flees. Bai Suzian's long pursuit to be human was finally granted. She was mortal now, in human form only. She would grow old and die, and their family would live the rest of their days in peace. Bai Suzian's story teaches us that immortality is not just the continuation of existence, but the immortal impact of one's life story that endures long after death. Now, it says here, Fa Hai is now punished by the gods for not knowing the difference between good and evil. So, I went to Genesis chapter 3, and in the Garden of Eden gene splicing facility, where the gods took Adam and from his DNA made the female, Eve, from the male they made the female, and Adam named her Eve. Right, so she's the negative blood type, and she becomes the mother of the psychopaths. But the Bible never ever mentions Eve dying. So, was she immortal? The name Eve means the living one. That's the name that Adam gave her, okay? Now, if Bai Shuzian was a Nagai, which means you've got the top half of your body is human and the bottom half of your body has been genetically spliced up, happened back in the Garden of Eden, okay? So if she was a Nagai, did the Nagai know that Eve was immortal when she said, "You will not die if you eat from the tree of knowledge," because she might have been telling the truth. And the curse that she was given from the God was that you will slither on your belly and taste dust all your life, and her seed shall bruise your head, and your seed shall bruise his heel. So, you will slither on your belly and taste dust all your life. That's why Baisu Jian went to the top of the mountain, the tallest mountain. So there's no dust. And she was able to live without the dust. Okay, let's put it that way. She's a smart cookie. Now, her seed shall bruise your head. That means the seed of Eve shall bruise the head of the Nagai. So, in the story, we notice that Fahai was always putting the bowl on her head. Bruise the head, bruise the head. Do you understand? And then it said, your seed shall bruise his heel. So I look up, what is a bruised heel? A bruised heel is when the fat pad that protects the heel bone fails. Symptoms of bruised heel: heel pain with weight bearing or walking, unable to bear weight on heel. Cause: jumping, landing on the heel from a height, a forceful blow to the heel from a kick, stepping on a sharp stone, being overweight. So at the moment when the curse was broken, the son of the Nagai was able to put the jeweled encrusted flowers onto the iron tree, completing the part of the curse that constrained the bowl on the head, the bruising of the head, and causing the bruising of the heel to Fahai, who obviously must have been a psychopath, but I don't know anything about his story. So, because it says that it must be on the bloodline. And it says here, Fahai is now punished by the gods for not knowing the difference between good and evil. And that's straight back to that tree, isn't it? Tree of knowledge. So, now let me go further with what I found. Should I start there or do I go back here? I think what I'll do is I'll start here. So it's said that in the 6 weeks of Gautama Buddha's enlightenments, he was under the Bodhi tree, and the heavens darkened for 7 days, and rain descended. The mighty king of the serpents, Mukalinda, came and protected Buddha from the rain with his hood, that's a copra hood, sheltering Buddha from the rain. Statues show 7 snakeheads, but this represents 7 days. Mukalinda lived in the banyan tree near the Bodhi tree on the bank of Nairanjana River in Ur. So it's an urbanization back in the days when the tales of Ur were happening. That's Abraham. Vila in Bihar, a place in northeast India, very close to Nepal and Kathmandu. So it's right on the sacred mountain rim between China and in India. Now, I'll save that story for another time. But what we've got here is, I did some research. Yes, I did. Now, the ruling family in ancient Indochina, which is the areas of Vietnam, Cambodia, Thailand, that region, that that island region. Okay, the ruling family of Funan, ancient Indochina, claimed an origin in the union of a Nagai with a human being. So, whoosh, come back to me. I am thinking that this is the child Zhu Xilin, who was also named Ming Jiao. So it says here, sorry, I lost my page. The ruling family of Funan, ancient Indochina, claimed an origin in the union of Nagai and human being. This Indochina region, Cambodia, Thailand, and Vietnam. The Book of Li Ang records a local legend to document Funan's origin. The foundation of Funan by the foreigner Huan Tian. Tian means heaven. So Hun, or maybe it's Han, like the Huns. Anyway, he came from Jiao, which is why I was like, this is just the nickname that the mother gave him. He came from Jiao after dreaming that his personal genie had delivered to him a divine bow and directed him to embark on a large merchant junk. In the morning he proceeded to the temple, where he found a bow at the foot of the genie's tree. He then boarded a ship, and his genie caused that ship to land in Funan. The queen of that land was named Willow Leaf, and she wanted to pillage that merchant junk ship and seize it. Han Tian shot an arrow from his divine bow, which pierced through her ship. Frightened, she gave herself up, and Han Tian took her for his wife. But unhappy to see her walking around everyone naked, he took some material and folded it and cut a half circle at the fold, through which he made her place her head. So the beautiful Han Tian made a garment for his wife, who was walking around naked. Did this not also happen in the book of Genesis 3? The knowledge of good and evil is like, make sure that you wear clothing, because it takes away, it takes away lust. Okay, he then governed, which he placed over her head. Now it says, known as King of the Mountain, the tallest peak in Cambodia, now spelled Phunam Oroi, spelled Phu instead of Fu. So, obviously his mountain, okay? So the tallest peak in Cambodia, it's not that tall in comparison. He then governed the country and passed his power on to their son, the son of Willow Leaf and Han Tian, who was the founder of 7 cities, Angkor Wat, Angkor Boroi on the coast, and a system of canals. There's probably obviously 7. Now his son, the son, which I couldn't find his name, I don't think, but his son had a daughter who was a Nagi, who the Braham Kundi Naya married. Kuandinaya. Princess Soma was the daughter. So Princess Soma married the foremost among the Brahmins, who planted a spear that he had obtained from Drona's son. She was the daughter of the king of serpents and founded her family in this world, in the abode of mankind. It is written that Kuandinaya had married her for the sake of accomplishing a certain task, which he attained through love. And that, I think, is all I've got. I might have some more. No, that is where I finish for that. So, the Indian people, especially in the northern part of India, worship the Naga and the Nagi, because the Naga, there's like a group of people up the top there that say they come from Nagi and Naga as well. And then, of course, we've got the Indo-China people who also say that their ancestry goes back to a Naga Nagi. So we've got a whole people who retrace their story all the way back to this one beautiful snake, Bai Shuxian. And I believe, that Bai Shuxian wasn't bad at all. I think that Eve was the negative blood type, mother, the living one, and no death mentioned, and yet she's supposed to be the mother, I don't think she died. So I have to look, I'll see what I find. And the Nagi knew that Eve was immortal, and because she's been spliced, she wasn't genetically, she didn't naturally form, did she? She was a splicing from Adam, and obviously when they did all this gene splicing, that gave a form of immortality. So yeah, there's something there, there's something massive there that maybe I'll find out about, maybe I won't, I'll just see how I go. But before I do go, I don't know how long, it's probably getting far too long for everyone. I would like to, the next story that I will be talking about is the story of, one finish. The first Buddhist temple was built in the Mount Imai mountain in the narrow space of land between the Black Dragon River and the White Dragon River. The site is large and winding path is 50 kilometers long, taking several days to walk. And then I've got a history which goes back to 700 BC in the Ka-Ming dynasty of the Shu Kingdom in the spring and autumn period, which I will discuss. It's the Ba people, and that will be my next story, okay? It's still about everything to do with the serpents, okay? And I'm just gonna be telling some stories that I find, and then, at least that one, and then I will share with you my interpretation of 2025 Year of the Wood Snake as well, because I've also got that just about completed. Okay, my earthlings, I'm sending you much love. Oh, a good half an hour. I did great. All right, yes. Use your psychic ability to reach far and heal with your compassion, the strife that is going through Syria, Lebanon, the Palestinian people in Iran, There's a very bad thing that's been set up against them. So let us make sure we help them stay strong. Sending much love. Ka kite.